Good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome you all to another episode of College to Corporate Talk Show. And just to give you the brief, what exactly we used to talk in this for the new viewer. So ultimately, this show is for the person professionals who wants to build their career in core IT. If you are struggling to build your career in IT, if you are already in IT, but not the core IT, if you stuck somewhere, maybe having 3, 4, 5 years of experience, still you feel that yes, whatever the best is not coming out from me. So all these things we are going to just take whatever the challenges you all are facing with you all, and to help us in this we have one another guest, and he is having around a decade experience in IT, not related direct IT coding and all those, but yes, it's IT. So handful of you are again they are means already into IT but want to just change the flavor, like maybe sales, pre-sales, those kind of thing. Still, there are opportunities, but most of us we don't know. And even I was not aware with this around what 6, 7 years back. So now let me just give a little brief idea about our guest. And before just introducing, let me have on the screen. And this particular, let me just give, as I just mentioned, he's having a decade experience now. He is Ph.D. in management with specialization is digital marketing. He completes his MS. After that, he is one of the main the you can say non-technical thing he have is public speaking. Okay, so without wasting further time, let us welcome Dr. Siddharth. Welcome, Dr. Siddharth, and just we all are eagerly waiting for you, your advice, your journey. So to start with, can you please give a little introduction from your side? Then we will just go phase by phase. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Upendra, for making me a part of this amazing show. I think you're doing really well for all those youngsters out there and young professionals out there who want to take their careers to the next level. So it's an honor and privilege to be on your show.
Okay. So next, ultimately, we have to go, and you have to go to your after college pass out. Okay. We all know that we have to just have different level of challenges, right? So just for means for our viewer who are just about to pass or just passed out and get into a small job and something. So the next question or this thing is what exactly? Just share some challenges, struggle when you started your career or about to start your career. So little journey on that first few years from you.
So, Upendra, so firstly, I would like to introduce myself to all the amazing viewers here. Imagine for a moment that you're lying on your deathbed several years from today and you see one blurry image in front of you. You know, the ECG meter is on, your vision is blurring, you're not in the pink of health, your relatives are coming to see you, and you're about 85, 90 years old, and you know that it's your last few breaths on this planet. Suddenly you see one blurry image in front of you and you kind of recognize that person, but you don't know exactly who that person is. So you say, I remember you, but I'm not able to identify exactly who you are. He says, you don't remember me? We have met so many times before. And then you're like, sorry, I'm old now, my memory is faded. Can you help me realize who are you? And then that person says, I'll make you remember. When you were small, when you were a child, I came to you and you said, I'm too busy playing, so please come back later. Then you grew up, you went into college, I came back to you again and you said, I'm too busy studying, so please don't disturb me, come back later. Then you got married and then I came back to you again. He said, oh, I have a better half to take care of, I have children to take care of, I'm too busy, come back later. Then you became older, you retired. I came back to you again. You said, I have become very old. I've spent my entire life working very hard. Please come back later. And today, now, when you're on your deathbed, I come back to you again to meet you one last time. You know who I am? I am your dream, and I will die with you today. So, hello everyone. Once again, my name is Dr. Siddharth Kishore Gaur. I was born in a simple, living, high thinking, self made, and educated family in Sholapur, Maharashtra, with several dreams right from childhood to make it big one day. So I hustled, of course, with the support of my parents, did my engineering in electronics and telecom from one of the top colleges in Pune. I did my master's in the US from one of the top colleges, Georgia Tech, fourth in the world for electrical and computer engineering. I also did my Ph.D. in management with a specialization in digital marketing. Currently, I work as a sales professional with over 11 years of experience in some of the topmost IT companies in the world in various roles across sales and customer success. My current designation is that of a digital transformation advisor. It might sound too fancy to you, but all I do is to ensure that I keep my customers at the center of everything that I do and make sure that they're happy. So that's my day job that helps me run my family. But I've also been working in the area of personal growth and human development for the past 2 years. And my mission is to create 1 million public speakers globally by 2030. I strongly believe that public speaking is not a sprint, it's a marathon. And in order to be a world class public speaker, you have to be ready to explore the world and to share your experience and perceptions with others. In all honesty, I am not a public speaking expert. I have been and shall continue to be a student of public speaking. So that's a brief introduction about myself, Upendra.
Wow, it's a really great exposure you have, and yes, said ultimately you have done all this study. So coming back to the first question, as I mentioned to start with, was it everything smooth for you? Because I personally know that a lot of guys are having challenges. So just whatever the good thing we know through your degree, through your whatever just accomplished. Now, what struggle to start with your maybe after college? What are the challenges you faced? The first thing, and then I'll come with the next question.
That's an interesting question, Upendra. And I feel that everybody on this planet has struggles, every person. And I think the struggles are the jerks that everybody needs to wake up. And like everybody else, I would also like to zoom into three such moments in my life where I had struggles, which completely shook me up. So I had a very comfortable childhood. My first struggle came when I enrolled for engineering in one of the top institutes in Pune. I had come through the NRI quota, so I was like the apple of the eye of the seniors. So I underwent a lot of ragging, a lot of bullying, which was not just mental but also physical. Because of this, my grades started deteriorating, and I failed in the two most important subjects of engineering, which is engineering graphics and applied mechanics. I'm sure you know about those two subjects. And typically, if you fail in those subjects, you're told that your engineering is completely messed up. There is no way to bounce back, there is no way to recover. Yes, that was a big shocker for me because I have always been a grade A student and I failed in my life for the first time.
No.
Second is when I had gone to US to do my master's in electrical and computer engineering. I completed my master's with a GPA of 4.5, and in spite of having such an amazing GPA, I was not getting placed. I still remember, we used to have those job fairs in those big exhibition halls, and there used to be two lines. And this was in the year 2009 when the recession in the US had just got over and things had slightly started improving. So there used to be two lines. One was for the US citizens and permanent residents, and the other for all the other students who have come from different parts of the world, which had Indians and Koreans and Chinese. And typically, when we used to reach the HR, they used to say, okay, you do not have US citizenship or you're not a permanent resident. Okay, so you can put your resume in that stack and we'll get back to you at the earliest. And I remember a very funny incident. Some people just used to come there to pick up the goodies. And one of the HRs, they told the people who just picked up the goodies that we used to get there that we also offer jobs. So, jokes aside, it was a very tricky situation, very tricky situation. When you spend so much amount of money to go to the US, it's not an easy life there. It's a very expensive country. So when you don't get a job, in spite of studying in the fourth best college, it's a very tricky situation. And third struggle is when I decided to come back to India, I had two things that I was doing parallelly. One is I was preparing for civil services because I wanted to help the poor and the downtrodden. And in our country, the only way you can help somebody is either if you have enough and more money or if you have enough and more power. So that's why I wanted to become a bureaucrat. And in parallel, because I had completed my master's and I got a very good opportunity, I also had my startup. Now, both these adventures that I had taken up, civil services on the one hand and parallelly running my own startup, both failed. I spent 3 years of my life preparing for civil services, burning the midnight oil, spending about 16 hours every day studying for that exam, but I still couldn't make it. And yes, I tried my level best to take my startup to the next level, but that too failed. These were the three struggles that I faced in my life that completely shook me up and
Wow.
completely changed my perspective about life itself.
Oh my God. So yeah, so struggle, it's not for me, not for everyone, it's for you also, right? So the
Absolutely.
next related question, see, if you go there, because we can right now visualize in the past, okay, if I could have done this, then it could have been a little bit easy or something. So keeping yourself on that situation, or this is just related to the specific part of who are, means the person, professionals, college to students, what they are struggling. So related to that topic, what exactly you did your time, or what you advise to the students who are struggling, maybe failing. You also failed a couple of times, right? Startup failed, you say. So a few things you failed. Still, right now you are in good position on in every perspective, right? So on that piece, anything you want to just suggest to the guys who are just keep failing? So your advice on that part, that piece.
Absolutely. Thank you, Upendra. See, I'm sure in your experiences in school, in applying to college, in picking your major, in deciding what you want to do in life, with your first job, people have told you to make sure that you have something to fall back on. Plan B. Make sure you get something to fall back on. That's what all your loved ones tell you. But I never understood that concept. Having something to fall back on. Always remember, if I'm going to fall, I do not want to fall back on anything except for my faith. I want to fall forward. At least that way I know what I'm about to hit. Fall forward. Simple example, we have all heard of Thomas Edison, and we have all heard about his cliched experiment where he failed 1,000 times, but did he stop? No. 1,001 time when he tried, he invented the light bulb. He fell forward. Every failed experiment is one step closer to success, is what he said. So you have to take risks in life. And I'm sure you have probably heard that before, but what I'm trying to say is you have to take calculated risks. Now you might be thinking, why is that important? Firstly, you should accept the fact that everybody fails. We all fail in some point of our life. We have to accept it. We all lose. We all embarrass ourselves. We all probably suck at something. There is no doubt about it. Remember, failure is not the opposite of success, but it is a part of success. Yes, so let me get back to the three events of my life. The first failure, which now, today, I don't call failure, I call that as my learnings. My first learning is when I failed in those two core subjects, applied mechanics and graphics. What did I do? I could have easily given up. I could have gone back to Muscat, Oman, where my father was working, and I could have enjoyed on his earnings. I could have gone into depression and anxiety. I could have left engineering altogether. But what I did is very simple. I found myself the best mentor who could help me learn the subjects, and I hustled day in and day out, not just to pass the subjects, but pass with distinction. I was mocked literally by people in the college. He's the son of an NRI. He has a lot of money. He's not here to study. He's just here to have a gala time. And when they told me this, it really pinched me. It really pinched me. And when I passed after 4 years with distinction, everyone who mocked me, underestimated me, just shut up once and for all. And that was not the end. In spite of getting campus placements in some of the top companies in India, like Infosys and TCS, I decided to fall forward. How did I do that? I decided to take a calculated risk. I decided to study further. So I went to US. Now coming back to the second aspect, where recession just got over, I was not getting a job. What did I do? I did 350 applications, 350 applications. I was resourceful. I decided to learn new skills. I also enrolled myself into one more degree during the same 2 years where I went to do my Masters of Science, which was called Management of Technology, MOT, which is similar to MBA in India, where I met one professor, Dr. David Koo, who was not only a professor in the college, the MBA college, but he was also a serial entrepreneur. He had his own organization, own company who was into invention of innovative medical devices. I started working closely with him. He pushed me to participate in several business plan competitions presenting his products, the last of which was pneumonia check, a device which helps you diagnose pneumonia in a matter of few seconds, which otherwise takes 4 to 5 days. Non-invasive device, 99.9% accurate, and it helps you to diagnose pneumonia, which, by the way, is the number one killer of children in the world, more than measles, AIDS, malaria, swine flu combined. So that was one good way for me to give back to the society and at the same time learn. And that is the time when I realized that I have a flair for marketing and sales, which I would have probably never known if I wouldn't have fallen forward. So I did present the business plan. I won several awards. And yes, I got placed in two companies as well. After 350 applications, I did get placed in two companies as well. But then my heart was to come back to our motherland, to our country, to serve the people of our country. So then I came back to India. The third struggle of my life is the startup. Yes, I started working with Dr. David Koo on the startup, and I became the exclusive distributor of his devices in India because that is the market where this is required the most. And at the same time, I started preparing for civil services. But yes, failed in both, got to learn a lot from both. Learned so many new things: how to start and run a company, how to pitch products, so much of knowledge about our own country, politics, public administration, sociology, which I never thought I would ever get into. And yes, I learned to manage many things at the same time. I did not give up. But yes, after these two learnings, eventually you become of age of marriage, and then you start getting pressure from your parents that now it's time for you to settle down. So I decided to fall forward yet once again, and I took up a job in the corporate, and the rest is history. So my point to all of you is, if you do not fail, you're not even trying. To get something you never had, you have to do something that you never did. You have to fall forward. So you have to get out there. You have to give it everything you have, whether it's your time, your talent, your prayers, or your treasures. Now, my last point about failures is sometimes it is the best way to figure out where you're going. Your life will never be a straight path. It's like the heartbeat. As soon as it becomes a straight line, you're dead. It needs to have those ups and downs. And the only way to have those ups and downs is to take risks, calculated risks, be open to life, and to always fall forward.
Wow.
What do you think?
So yeah, that is really great piece of advice. So to conclude, the two keyword we must have just got. We have to take calculated risk, and number two, yeah, we all are just not passing, failing also, but fail forward. This two piece of advice we can take. Now, it's not that easy. You were in US and just you said you came back. Okay. So I personally can feel because the same type of thing happened with me. I was in US, I came back. So from your own experience, was it easy? And what made you, yes, for country, you came back for doing something. So what are the, other than this, what challenges you face while making this decision? So because same situation might be faced by your face, means facing, students are facing now. So what advice you are going to give to them regarding this particular, just they want to come back and this, so.
Absolutely. So it was completely a personal decision. I couldn't see my future in the US. And my love for motherland and my love for doing something for the society helped me make a clear distinction and decision to take this big call. And yes, of course, there are challenges, because when you spend so much of time, energy, and more importantly, money, and you take a loan and then you decide to come back, it's not a very easy call to take. People usually feel, uh, is he silly? Is he a fool to take that decision? But the most important advice I would like to give people who want to take this call is to trust this thing that beats inside your chest. It's called as the heart, right? We are all humans. We all take decisions emotionally and then we try to justify it with logic, with our brain. That is how all human beings work. But at that point of time, I decided I'm not going to think logically. I'm going to think from my heart. And yes, so, starting your own business at a very young age is not an easy thing to do. But yes, even if you fail, you get to learn n number of amazing new things. And if you do it at a very young age, just imagine from all the mistakes that you make, when you are actually equipped with all the skills, with the right people around you, you can take your business to a whole new level. And your business skills that you gain at a very young age can also help you in your corporate journey to rise faster in the hierarchy. Where else will you learn skills, right? So yes, so that brings me to a very important point. Sales. Everybody feels sales, salesman. ये sales में है. Oh God.
Yeah,
We
so
know people
Dr.
have.
Siddharth, I want to just stop you here. Yeah, let me just come with this specific because I personally, maybe after 5 6 years in this IT, I don't know the reason. Something came in my sales in IT. Who will this do the sales job? So I was not aware. So can you please tell me now the question related to that only? Though we are just speaking on this topic.
Absolutely.
We are
So
talking, yeah. So we are talking about what the students who are just passed out, struggling to get job. Maybe they are in little bit good position, maybe package wise in the IT industry, and maybe 4 5 6 years of experience. So now they think growth is not there in the core technical part, and you have your degree in the core technical area, but you choose sales or pre-sales in your whatever organization, top MNCs you are working with. So the question to you is, what advice you are just giving to those means the person professionals like in these zone, these thought. So can you please help us to understand that part from your
sure.
perspective? Yeah.
So there is something common between all of us. You know what that is, Upendra bhai? Can you take a guess?
Common, yeah, means we all are working in what IT for means the job perspective.
Absolutely. Yes, that's one thing which is common. Any other thing that is common, Upendra?
Yeah, you
Okay,
can
I'll break
come.
the suspense. I'll break the suspense.
Okay.
So whether you know it or you don't know it, whether you like it, you don't like it, we are all in sales. Everyone is selling because sales is essentially what? It's an exchange between a buyer and a seller. So whether you're a politician giving a speech to a constituency to make people vote for you, whether you're a lawyer convincing the judge or the jury to take a decision in favor of your candidate, whether you're a mother trying to tell her children to go to sleep, make their bed, do their homework, or whether you're a child telling your parents that you want that ice cream now, we are all selling. We are all into persuasion. Some of us are selling our time, some of us are selling our efforts, some of us are doing it with our education, some are experience, and others are selling product or services or ideas. We are all in sales. So, bottom line to all you amazing people out there listening to me is to sell is only human. Every organization that we see around us, right? It has two accounts, right? Profit and loss account. If we consider a balance or a scale, on the debit side, you have the salaries, you have the taxes, you have the rents, etc. On the other side, we have sales. Sales is the lifeblood of any organization. Why am I telling you this? Is because I want to show you the importance of sales. I have been in sales for the last 11 years. It has helped me to grow in my career exponentially faster. And not just in sales, sales in an IT company. According to me, sales is basically community service. Because sales generates revenue, which helps runs company. It helps run your family. It enables you to pay your bills and eventually help run your country, the economy. Moreover, if you have an awesome product or service and you do not sell it, then you're doing a great disservice to people by denying it to the world and stalling its progress. Now, many of you might be thinking, I don't have experience in sales, whether I'll be able to sell. So I want to tell you a very funny incident. My friend a few years back went to Phuket for honeymoon and he wanted to ride the jet ski. So the instructor said, do you have the license? Because he wanted to ride it alone, not with the instructor. So he said, I have this two-wheeler license from India. Will that work? And that two-wheeler license also, he told me he got by paying 900 rupees. So he did not pass any exams. Okay, it was delivered to him to his house. So simple thing, is the instructor told him that if you have a license to drive two-wheeler, can you drive a four-wheeler? And if you have the license to drive a four-wheeler, can you drive the truck or the JCB? My point is, like every other skill, like driving is a skill, riding the jet ski is a skill, sales is a learnable skill, which you can learn. You can get the license for. And it is a skill which can definitely help you to grow in your IT career very fast. If you're in non-technical. Now, let's say you're in technical. Okay. Upendra did ask me to mention about what about if your love is not there for sales or the business side of things, but into technology, into tech, in the latest trends in IT. Then the good news for you, like you mentioned, Upendra, at the beginning of this session, there are a lot of roles which you can do well at, which is a mixture of business and technology, like pre-sales. Okay, pre-sales is what? Some companies call it pre-sales, some company call it as solution engineering, some people call it as solution consultants, but it is an umbrella term of all the activities that are done with the customer before the sales happen. You work hand in hand with the sales team and you lay the groundwork, you lay the framework for the sales team to be successful. Simple, there are 4 or 5 things that these pre-sales people do. They analyze the potential markets before the product launch, whether this product will be good for this particular customer avatar, what can be their challenges, and then preparing a pitch to address those challenges. Assist the sales team in qualifying the prospects so that you don't waste time. So you go into calls with the customers, understand their needs, their requirements, their pain points, and then design or tailor a demo that you have to show because you have the product knowledge. So why don't you show it to them? And then, of course, provide the same product knowledge support to your sales team. Create sales pitches for them. And, it's a career which is very lucrative because it helps you not only to grow faster in your corporate ladder, but also helps you to make a lot of money in the process because your incentives are linked to the sales team being successful. If they are successful, you are successful. And at the same time, you're not directly selling. So it serves both the purposes. So all in all, these roles are very, very interesting. And I would like to personally draw your attention that if you're into core technology, focus in the upcoming areas in the field of IT. What are the upcoming areas? The upcoming areas are artificial intelligence, which includes machine learning, which includes deep learning, which includes natural language processing, robotic process automation, RPA, another upcoming booming technology, data science, big data analytics, IoT or Internet of Things, blockchain, augmented or virtual reality, customer experience applications or CX applications across loyalty, commerce, sales, service, and marketing automation. Focus on these technologies. These are the upcoming technologies which will help you to rise faster in your career and take it to dizzier heights of success faster than any other field in the industry. Over to you, Upendra.
Okay, so here, just I'm coming directly to the fresher guys, or maybe 1 2 years of here and there. They are B.Tech in this. So, simple question they used to just ask me that will it possible from fresher to build a career in IT sales or maybe pre-sales? So I know little experience they are. So any piece of advice, because after listening to you, definitely it's a clear idea. Yes, sales, pre-sales, some good opportunities there in the IT. Now, in this, what will be the step or advice for those students or the professionals they want to start? So from where to start? Any just small piece of advice to them?
Thank you, Upendra. The first and foremost thing they need to do is to specialize in one technology or one product. Read up on it. Internet, everything is available on the internet today. Everything is available on YouTube. If you are interested in a particular technology, let's say robotic process automation or CX applications, go on YouTube, watch videos of that particular product, see if you can replicate the same, because the demo versions of those applications are available. Cloud computing is something today, everything is on cloud, Upendra. Everything is on cloud. So these are very, very foundational things that you're supposed to know, right? All technologies today is on the cloud. So brush up your knowledge on all these basic fundamentals, the cloud technologies. Take up any particular product that you're interested in. Go on YouTube, watch their videos, and try to replicate the same flow in which they have demonstrated the product to you, whether you can demonstrate it to somebody else. The best way to learn is if you can teach somebody. So do that. And in every organization, if you want to go into solution engineering, pre-sales, or you want to go into sales, there is a channel, proper channel. The channel to start right from foundation. So if you want to go for sales, you can start as a business development consultant. Their role is essentially what? You pick up the phone, you start doing cold calls. It's a good way for you to practice, to come out of your shell and break the ice. The other way to start is through a solution consultant at a very basic level. So what essentially you do is you go for joint customer meetings with the sales team. Many of the people who are freshers, they join as interns in these top organizations. Okay. When you are there as an intern, you go for these customer meetings, these client facing meetings, you get to know the pulse of the customer. And at the same time, you who have been selected because of your product knowledge can showcase your knowledge to the client. And because you're doing well, you start doing well, you present well, you demonstrate well, you will be easily absorbed into the organization as a full-time employee. That is what I have seen the trend in all top IT companies. So start from small, start from scratch, and then rise up fast. And there is no looking back.
Wow, that is really great. Now, Dr. Siddharth, basically coming back to these other things of what we have discussed, what some technology, then we have discussed the core in IT companies. There are much more demand for this sales professionals. Now, if you are into IT, having sales, pre-sales, those domain, anybody, if they wants to just start thinking something about non-technical area by just whatever they are doing, by keep doing that, they want to just go a little bit outside. Because to start with, you mentioned that you are having some other interest in public speaking. Okay, so would you like to share something? Because I know this, I personally came across many students just in light note, they used to ask that it is possible to go, means I keep doing that, but other than that, anything I can do parallelly. So in parallel, what I can just see while talking to you, that you are already means into sales, pre-sales with good MNCs, and still you are having interest in public speaking. So question is it possible? And if yes, how, what are the options to just monetize this part also? So any idea on that? Means any share your thought?
Absolutely. Irrespective of whether you are interested in technical or non-technical, it doesn't matter. One thing that you must definitely sharpen, one thing that you must definitely work upon is your communication and public speaking skills. I have realized this over the last 30 years. I want you to fast track that process. You know why? Because the fastest way for you to grow in your organization or on the personal front is by this one skill called as public speaking. Warren Buffett says that public speaking is the one skill that can help you grow faster in your personal and professional life, and it can increase your market value by 50%. Tell me any other skill, Upendra, that can increase your market value by 50%. I don't think there exists any. What do you say, Upendra?
Yeah, means as per my knowledge, I don't have any.
50%. It helps you to stand out from the crowd, and it helps you to behave or act like a leader. And today, organizations are not looking at followers. Organizations are looking, whether it's a technical role or a non-technical role, they're looking to hire future leaders. And to be a leader, you have to have excellent public speaking skills. To crack the interview, you need to have excellent public speaking skills. So, I am passionate about public speaking, and I love imparting this knowledge to many others to help them grow in their life, because this has helped me to grow in mine. If you remember, I told you about the journey starting from me, presenting several business plan competitions, to me going and promoting the medical devices in India, to me getting my first sales job, and to me becoming a successful sales professional today. You have to be a good orator, because if you cannot speak well, you cannot convince, you cannot persuade. And if you cannot persuade, you cannot grow. So that's a very important skill that you need to all pick up. And in terms of monetization, if you work on this skill, you will be called to some of the biggest platforms that there are. You will become a keynote speaker. And when you become a keynote speaker, you go out there, people call you to speak in front of hundreds and thousands of people and share your knowledge, your experience, and wisdom with them. And they will pay you for that. They will pay you a lot of money for speaking for a few minutes or a few hours. You will be called to train people, to become consultant, to become trusted advisor, to become a trainer, to train people on the knowledge that you have acquired. Even if you have the world's best knowledge, but if you're not able to impart it in the right way to others, if you're not able to teach others, what's the use of that knowledge? It's absolutely useless. And if you are selected in those kind of roles, or you start your own organization, consulting firm, training firm, you can go and train people virtually, physically, and you can make money out of it. You can run your own virtual batches of several people. I run my batches of public speaking to help people come out of fear of the stage, to come out of the fear that what if I go blank, to come out of fear that for them public speaking is even more fearful than probably the fear of death. How do you come out of that fear? So I take those batches to help people break that shell, to become world-class speakers and take their personal and professional lives to the next level. So I would urge each and every one of you to focus on this one skill. Trust me, it will completely transform your career path and work magic in your life.
That is really great, Dr. Siddharth. Now, coming back to the same follow-up topic or the question, that's my personal question is age group of maybe 20 to 40, maybe 40 to 50. These I'm just breaking this two area. So what will be the first step? Suppose somebody is interested to just be on that keynote speaker, what you said. So, what were the first baby step people supposed to take, and how to proceed on it in two different group? Okay, so just what will be the step?
So first and foremost, let me go for the first age group, the 20 to 40. I think for you, it's very, very important to firstly polish your English speaking skills, your pronunciation, your vocal variety, which includes the tone, your pitch, your voice modulation. Now, if I talk to you in this very tone for the entire duration and do not raise my voice on important points, or lower my tone when I am trying to gain your attention, will you be interested in listening to me? Absolutely not. And how do you do that? You can do it in fun ways. Watch a lot of amazing English documentaries or series, whatever you enjoy doing, with subtitles. Read those subtitles until the time you can understand the accent. The time you understand the accent, remove those subtitles and try to recall every dialogue that has been said just a few seconds before. That will help you to take your speaking skills to the next level. Number one. Number two, read a lot of books on public speaking, on communication. That will also definitely help you. They say, right, that reading is to the mind that exercises to the body. In general, too, if you want to grow in life at a young age, start reading. An average CEO of a company reads 52 books in a year. So you should at least aim at reading half of that in a year to help you grow faster. And whether you are from 20 to 40 or 40 and above, it just doesn't matter. The first baby step that you need to do is to build your visibility, number one, and second is your credibility. How will you build your visibility? Use social media. Use social media for your business. Use social media to build your personal brand. It's such an amazing technology that we have available to us today on our smartphones, on our fingertips, and we leverage it for what? For just simply browsing, the browsing disorder that we all have, looking at memes and what our friends are doing. No, stop doing that. Use this amazing technology to bring out your content to the world, bring out your knowledge to the world. Create amazing content and share it with the world. Whether it's technical, non-technical, it's your story, it just doesn't matter. Be there on social media, be professional. Clean up your social media and show to the world what you're actually made of. That will help you build your visibility. Once you're done building your visibility, you will see the magic unfold when people will reach out to you. I'm interested in learning your course on public speaking. I'm interested in learning your course on how do we use big data or how do we use robotic process automation. People will reach out to you. You do not have to reach out to them. You can go as a guest speaker initially without charging any monies to schools, to colleges, as an alumni to your own college or your own organization where you work. You can volunteer to teach the new people who have joined in, the freshers who have joined in, to come up to speed with the technology. That will help you build your credibility. And once you build your credibility, there is no stopping you because then people will reach out to you. Please come to our institute. Please come to our event. Please come to our exhibition. Please come to our seminar, our webinar, and grace the occasion with your valuable presence. Visibility and credibility. Use social media. Baby step number one.
Wow. That is a really great insight, Dr. Siddharth. Now, related to that, that is a common question just being faced by me also. Sir, I'm not good in English. Yesterday only I was just speaking to a handful of guys. Sir, everything I'm ready to do, hard work, everything I'll do, but I'm not good in English. So, what is small advice from where they should start? Just baby step one, two, just from where to start. I don't know English means speaking and thing, what they should do.
So, Upendra, it's a very good question. And learning any language doesn't happen instantaneously. It takes its own due course of time. It's a gradual process. So, if I tell you that I have a silver bullet, or a magical formula that will help you improve your English in a matter of few days. That's not going to happen. But what we can do is gradually work on it. First and foremost thing is we have to identify what in English are we struggling with. Is it our grammar that we are struggling with? Is it spelling that we are struggling with? Is it vocabulary that we are struggling with? Is it sentences that we are struggling with? Firstly, identify what is our main weakness, what is our main challenge. For example, many of the people that I coach, they have the problem of using a lot of fillers, the ers and the ums and all that. Okay, so first step is to identify what is our challenge with English. It cannot be the entire English language is a problem for us, because we are all English speaking people. We have gone, typically most of us have gone to English speaking schools. But even if you have not, and if you ask me one step where you should start from, I've already mentioned it. So one thing what you can do is start reading a lot. That definitely helps you improve your English. Start watching all your news, start, all the favorite sitcoms you have in English. And the most important thing that you can do is, next time whenever you think of anything, instead of thinking it in your local language, start thinking about it in English. That will
Wow.
definitely help you.
Yeah,
Don't think of the answer. So if I asked you a question, what is your greatest weakness? For example, interview question, typical question, right? What is your greatest weakness? Now, I will not start thinking in my head, मुझे हाँ बोलने की बीमारी है. I'm a yes man. I keep saying yes to everything. That's my weakness, for example. So don't think मुझे हाँ बोलने की बीमारी है. Think I'm a yes man. I always say yes to everything in your mind. So next time, anything anybody asks you, you process everything in English, and automatically your English will improve. That is one tip that I would like to give all the amazing people out here.
wow, that is really, it's a great insight, and this is for means every one of us who is just planning to, at least they're thinking they don't know anything about English and they are not able to speak a single line. So at least yeah, they can start from this point. Now coming to one of the common challenge for the young professional, they are about to start their career. They are so most of them, that is whoever is just what is the trend after passing out their graduation, maybe 30 to 40, 30% average, they are getting placed. Now what about 70%? Now they are just coming with different mindset to me, saying that, sir, I didn't get chance in this campus, this ultimately they are not getting what they are expecting. Okay, so
Mhm.
as per you, what will be the advice you want to give to youngsters so that they can at least be on track of getting into job, maybe related to IT? From where they should start, number one, and follow up on top of this is they fail to make decision. Because I personally just a lot of guys came to me in past, and I know the guys having too much potential, means it's a very much from every means aspect, but somehow he failed to make any decision. So what is your advice for those person professionals, graduates? They means those who are on dilemma, what should I do? Should I do this or not? So how they should just make any decision for their future career?
So, Upendra, I firmly believe that whenever you want to move forward in life and you're stuck somewhere, so the best way to move forward is to find somebody who's been there, done that, who has walked the path, not talked the path. And this is only achievable by having a mentor in your life. Who is a mentor? He or she is someone who has already achieved what you want to achieve in your life. They are the catalysts that can fast track your success. They have been there, done that. They are someone who help you in your overall transformation, be it across physical, mental, emotional, financial, or relationships. Right? These are the three main things: health, your career, and your relationships. These are the three most important things in our lives. They are the people who show you the light at the end of the tunnel and help you travel through the tunnel filled with darkness, with a lot of potholes, with ease. Like they say, a good teacher teaches, a great teacher demonstrates, but the best teacher inspires. Now, many of you said that many people reach out to you and they are confused and they're like, how do I find a mentor? From the internet, from the social media. When we are buying a product, let's say like a cell phone, what do? We research about the cell phone. We research about the cell phone, we look at about its features, its functionalities, we compare it with other models, and then we take a call. It's as simple as that. Everything is available on the internet today. Like they say, doodh ka doodh and pani ka pani. You can clearly separate out who actually has the substance to teach you, to guide you, and who doesn't. I was resourceful in finding my mentors in different parts of my journey. I mentioned to you when I failed in my engineering subjects, I found the best teacher to help me to pass those subjects in Pune. And I did. When I got stuck with job in US, I found my mentor in Dr. David Koo, who told me that Siddharth, you're good in technical, but you're even better in business, in managerial skills, in sales skills. He advised me. And even today, when I started on my journey of self development and transformation, I have my mentor. You can see his picture right behind me. And a mentor tells you that you don't know what you don't know. They tell you about what you don't know. That is the problem. That is where our mentors play a very important role. So, next time, whenever you feel that something is right for you, but you're confused, do not think twice. Take the ownership of your life in your own hands. I'm not saying do not take any advice from your loved ones or your near and dear ones, but ultimately the reins of the horse of your life is in your hands. You decide what you have to do in life. You decide what makes you happy. And for that, you need to find a hand that is willing to pull you out, that is willing to help you overcome your limiting beliefs. It is all about mindset, Upendra, like you said. Those people that are stuck today, it's all because of the mindset, not because of the skill set. I'm sure every person listening to us today, they have the same level of skill set. They have studied from some of the best colleges, institutes, they have done well in their academics, but the only thing that differentiates one person from the other is the mindset. That mindset holds you back. That mindset tells you that you're only born to lead a linear life, that you are born, you grow up, you have a lot of fun and joy while growing up, then you go to college, you study hard, get a job. But today, considering the market situation, the pandemic situation, and the financial pandemic that is going on, the turmoil that is going on, do you think you can lead your life successfully and happily earning a few thousand rupees, considering the expenses that we have, considering the liabilities that we have? Do you think you can lead a happy life doing that? And then you take several years to get promoted to the next level, and then you get married, you have children, additional responsibilities, your parents grow older, you grow older, then you retire, and then eventually you become sick and one day you die. That's the linear life. Are you born to lead that linear life? Are you willing to become a corporate zombie, just doing day in, day out something without any meaning to it, just doing it for the sake of it? Or are you here on this planet to do something that makes you happy, that can impact many others in the world and make the world a better place to live in and leave your legacy? If yes, the first thing that you need to start working on is your mindset. And to help you with your mindset, you need to find a mentor, because that is the person who will help you to unleash your best and take you to the next level. So do not depend on uncles and aunts and cousins and teachers who do not have the expertise or specialization or the knowledge in the field that you want to pursue. A simple question, Upendra, to you: when you have pain in your heart, will you go to a general doctor or will you go to heart specialist?
Definitely a specialist.
Absolutely. That time, will you go and tell your heart is paining, you might get a heart attack. That time, you'll go and ask your parents or your siblings or your friends or your teachers, my heart is paining, I'm about to die. Can I go to this, nearby doctor there, the general physician guy? Will you do that? No, right? It's the matter of life and death. Similarly, your life, your career is a matter of life and death. It can make or break you, it can make or break your family. So if that is all at stake, then why don't you go to a specialist? And when it comes to your heart, you're willing to pay lakhs of rupees to save your life, then you're not willing to shell out a few thousand rupees to a mentor who can actually help you take your career to the next level. A very important point for all of you to think about. Scratch your head about this point. Over to you, Upendra.
Wow, this is really great, and I can relate because last week only I was just again talking to a group of students, and after giving all those things, now they ended with saying that okay, I'll speak to one of my relative in this, and I can relate what you just explained that okay, if you have anything related to a specific maybe disease or something, you are going to specialist, not to the person who never gone through or don't know what exactly this is. But we are just doing as a youngster, we are doing this mistake. So, anyways, we are just almost coming to the last. And Siddharth, any one piece of advice as a whole? I know we speak already in different area, from the job perspective and from the fresher perspective, fresher who are just passing out or wants to build their career. Now, as a whole, means any one piece of advice to youngster you want to give related to their career in brief.
So, like I said, of course, I would like to give a very important piece of advice to all of you. One is start working on your mindset. It could be through a mentor, it could be in the form of a book. So, I am reading this book of late, and I would recommend all of you here read this book. It's called The Obstacle is the Way. Okay. It's by this amazing author called as Ryan Holiday. Now, you know what Ryan says? Ryan says that every adversity that comes to your life, every obstacle that comes to you, instead of trying to overcome the obstacle, use that obstacle. Turn those obstacles into advantages for you. And for doing that, he talks about three important things. First is alter your perception. P. Second is take action. A. And third is have an inner will to handle defeat and difficulty. Will. W. PAW. PAW. Perception, action, and will. And I would like to share three very interesting stories that you have shared in the book with all of you, if you permit, Upendra.
Yeah, yeah, sure. Go ahead, Dr. Siddharth.
First thing is about perception. You know, one of the most effective developments in modern warfare during the Second World War was a German technique called as blitzkrieg. Where a mobile force would move into the front so quickly with all those tanks in front and the soldiers behind with such overwhelming speed, and it used to cause a lot of devastation that the allied forces, they felt extremely powerless. Everybody was scared to face the Germans during the Second World War, until this commander called as Commander Eisenhower famously turned the tide around for the alliance forces. You know how he did it? He did it by changing the perception of everybody else. In the renowned Battle of Bulge, what he did is very simple. He led the Germans through and he attacked them from behind. It was like all the Germans got stuck in a net or a mixer grinder that he called, and they won the war. So every situation that is in front of you is to be regarded as an opportunity and not as a disaster. And he said to all the people in front of you that there will be only cheerful faces at this conference table. when he was giving them this technique. Problem is our perceptions are the problem. They tell us an event in a certain way, and then we must therefore act in a certain way. When often simply by looking at the problem differently, we're able to turn the obstacle on its head. The obstacle becomes the way. The second is action. Action is very important in life. I teach public speaking and I really love to talk about where public speaking started. Demosthenes, a Greek orator, was not the greatest orator since he was born. He was born in a rich family, but his guardians, they took away all his property, all his inheritance. And since the age of 7, he had a lot of sickness, pneumonia, and a lot of other sicknesses. He was very frail as a child. So he decided that he wants to fight these setbacks. He wants to fight the case against his guardians to get his family's inheritance back. He wants to become the greatest orator of all time. So what he did, even though he had a speech impediment, he used to stutter while speaking. He started practicing speaking by putting stones and rocks in his mouth. And while running up hills, he started speaking in one breath. He even locked himself in the underground for rehearsal. He shaved his head half bald so that he would be embarrassed to go out and spend more time with books and enhancing his knowledge. And finally, he became the greatest orator of all times. He won back his inheritance. People in thousands and lakhs used to listen to him, and decisions used to be influenced just by him speaking a few words. And when asked what was the most important trait that made him successful, he said, action, action, action. And third, last but not the least, is will. Will. One of the greatest inventors, because I really love him and I give his examples. And I'm not going to give the same cliched example of Thomas Edison failing 10,000 times and inventing the bulb 10,000 one time. But I want to talk to you about one very other important aspect of his life. In 1914, Thomas Edison had a factory in West Orange, New Jersey, which was destroyed because of a fire. His whole life's work was inside that lab. The damage at that time, 1914 I'm talking about, was more than $2 million. But hardly any of it was covered by insurance, because at that point of time, they used to think that concrete is fireproof and that factory was built of concrete. But the problem was everything inside the factory was flammable and expensive. Everything, his entire life's work, was being burnt on that night of December. His son Charles came to his father Thomas, after seeing that entire fire factory blaze with fire. He was upset seeing his father's face lit up with the flames of that fire. Thomas was looking at that fire very calmly. Then Thomas looked at his son and said, "Son, where is your mother?" His son looked at him, his son Charles looked at him and said, "Why is my father acting?" He was thinking, why is he acting so weird? His life's work is getting burnt. Thomas said, "Go get your mom quickly. She has never seen such a scene in her life, and she will never get to see such a scene in her life." Charles was shocked because of this casual attitude of his father. Next day, the whole family, Thomas Edison and his family, went to the site of the fire. They picked up, Thomas picked up the ashes in his hands and looked up at his ashes and told his wife next to him, "Don't worry, dear. There is a great value in disaster. All our mistakes are burnt up now. We can start all over again, and we should be thankful to God." And exactly 3 weeks later, Edison managed to deliver a brand new invention, which was the phonograph. That is the power of will. W.
Wow, that is really, really powerful, Dr. Siddharth. Now we are just almost end of time. So the last piece of advice or the help after listening to you, if somebody wants to just learn public speaking and all those, so how they are going to reach you? Is there any batches, or how? What will be the process for you to be just helping guys who wants to just build their career or start parallelly into public speaking? So how they are going to reach you?
Sure, Upendra. So you can connect with me on all social media platforms. You can search with my name, Dr. Siddharth Kishore Gaur. Upendra can also share my coordinates with all of you. And every month I run a webinar. which is free for all of you to join. Join in that webinar, and if you feel that this is something of interest for you, this is something that can add value to your life, then we can talk further, and I can tell you the next steps of how you can become one of my mentees.
Wow. So that's it. And thanks a ton to Dr. Siddharth. Dr. Siddharth, really, it was totally altogether different talk. So we just finished, and it's hope it is going to help thousands and thousands of professionals, students who wants to build their career in IT and IT related to sales, pre-sales, and at last, it's a public speaking thing. So it's thank you so much for your time you are just spending with us.
So, Upendra, can I just recite a few lines to conclude this amazing interview that we had, so that
Yep.
all the amazing
Sure.
listeners out here get motivated? Will that be fine?
Yep. Go ahead, please.
So, I strongly feel that all of you listening to us today, to Upendra, to myself, you have a lot of knowledge inside of you, a lot of wisdom inside of you. Some of you have amazing experience as well. And because of this, you're going to make one place the richest place in the world. Do you know what that place is? That place is the grave. There are so many people in the grave that have died with so much of knowledge, experience, and wisdom in their chest. It is time for all you amazing people out there to step up, to share your knowledge, wisdom, and experience with the world and make it a better place to live in. And therefore, I would like to recite a few lines from a popular poem. It goes like this. मिट्टी से है बने, मिट्टी में ही मिल जाएंगे. मिट्टी से है बने, मिट्टी में ही मिल जाएंगे. साथ में क्या लाए थे जो झोली भर के ले जाएंगे? कुछ दिन के मेहमान हैं, फिर धरती में विलीन हो जाएंगे. कुछ दिन के मेहमान हैं, फिर धरती में विलीन हो जाएंगे. अच्छे कर्म कर ले प्यारे, ये कर्म ही जग में नाम बनाएंगे. जग में कर ले अच्छा काम, तभी बनेगा तेरा नाम. जग में कर ले अच्छा काम, तभी बनेगा तेरा नाम. Thank you.
Wow, it's really great, and thanks for your time again, Dr. Siddharth, and just
Thank you,
now.
Upendra.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me. It was a pleasure. And I hope this talk show, your mentorship takes a lot of professionals out there, freshers out there, youngsters out there to the next level. All the very best.
Okay, thank you. Okay, guys. So, it's a different level of knowledge, experience what we all have received in last approx 1 hour, and hope it is going to help you guys for sure to just come up with different mindset, different thought process to build your career in IT. Especially today's episode was the sales, pre-sales, and at last it's a public speaking. So that's it for today. We are just going to come in the next week with another guest, and again to get help to build our career in IT. So bye-bye to all of you. Thank you.